So now we're going to be looking at the tuggy game. How to teach your dog a tuggy game, how to play tuggy, how to find out what kind of tug toy that your dog likes. I'm joined by the wonderful Betty Schnauzer. Come here, Betty. Come on, good girl. Betty likes this game already. She often plays this game with me, and you can see that she's really focused on the toys. So already you can see that just by holding a toy, you can get really good focus from your dog. So first of all, let's talk about the tuggy game itself. It's quite a misunderstood game. A lot of dog owners think that it causes aggression, and in some cases it can, but that just depends how you play the game. It's a great game for teaching your dog control, and it's a very breed-specific game. You know, any dog can like playing tuggy, but some dogs are more kind of predisposed to liking to play tug. Barry, my dog de Bordeaux, bull-type breeds, they generally like holding and tugging things. Betty is a giant Schnauzer. She's a garden breed. She likes this game a lot. Terriers, you'll find, will like picking things up and shaking them, killing them. You know, it's in a dog's nature. It's in some dogs' inherent breed characteristics to like grabbing and pulling and tugging these things, and they're good at it as well. You know, dogs have really strong jaws, so if you can use the tuggy game to your advantage to get your dog interested in you and to get your dog looking at you and interacting with you, and then he'll want to be with you as well, you know. So hopefully in this video you'll see some easier ways that you can use the tuggy game to get a bit of a connection going with your dog. Now, rather than, in a similar way to what we did in the food exercise previously, rather than me bringing a toy in and just expecting Betty to play with it, I've got a little selection of toys here. Yeah, and I'm going to quickly find out, there's one, they're all old toys as you can see, but I'm going to quickly find out which one of these things that Betty likes the most. She may like them all, in which case wonderful, but certainly if she prefers one over the other, she's going to have her own taste. Yeah, your dog's going to have his own taste in things that he likes. It might not necessarily be the things that you like. So let's find out these things. Let's find out what Betty likes. So the easiest way for me to do that is just to chuck them all on the floor first, and we'll see which one that she goes for. She can see them all here. Should we chuck them on the floor? You like that one? Yeah? Go on then. Come on. Betty. Betty. Yay, good girl. Clever girl. What a clever girl. So I'm using the lead so that when I say Betty's name, if she doesn't come towards me, I can easily reel her in. Yeah, and this is the easiest way, as we said before, this is the easiest way to keep control of your dog, is to keep them on lead, even when you're indoors. You know, there's no reason why your dog can't have a soft house lead that they use indoors, which is going to help you to keep really good control of your dog and, you know, not allow them to make mistakes. Yeah, if I call Betty's name and she ignores me because she's more interested in the toy, and I keep calling her, then all I'm doing is teaching her to ignore my calls. Whereas having the lead enables me to reel her in and bring her towards me gently, and then play with her with the toy when she gets here. So she's picked this one. See if she would like any of the other ones first. Yeah, we like that one. She's dropped it already. She likes the birdie. Come back to this one. Go for the rope one this time. So there's lots of options we have here. Is it a nice toy, Betty? Is it a nice toy? Yeah, I can pick up the lead again. I can reel her in. And Betty being Betty, she'll probably like whatever toy that I pick up. Yeah, she'd rather have something that I like, which is another good reason to use more than one toy. You know, use a couple of toys, and then you can quite easily, if your dog's interested in one of the toys, you can quite easily get their attention with another one. What's this? Betty? Or I can throw that one. That's a good girl. Yay! Good girl. So we've had a bit of mess about with the toys. She seems to like all of them in no particular order at the moment, but we can offer her a bit of a choice to see which one she would like to play with by continuing the dog order that we did with the food and finding out which toy she likes. Yeah, so we show her both the toys. She's veering towards the purple one, which has been well chewed, as you can see. Yeah, so definitely purple one wins this time. She loves the purple one, don't you, Betty? We'll try purple and the purple wubber and the bird. Nah, it's definitely the purple one, isn't it, you know? So what I'm doing is I'm having a little conversation with Betty here, you know? I'm asking her, which one do you prefer, Betty? You tell me. And then she'll tell me which one she prefers. And then so that's the one that I'll use to play with. So we'll move all the others out the way, and then we've got rid of all the distractions. And then we can start playing the tug game. So we got her attention now. That's a good girl. So an important thing to say about the tug exercise is that you really want to get control of your dog. It's a great idea to teach your dog a leave it command or an out command, whatever you want to say, but that's a command where the dog lets go of the toy and leaves it alone so that you're not having to physically battle your dog to actually get the toy back. Yes, you want to you want to share a game of tug and you want to have some fun and you want to be getting rid of some energy and you want your dog to be enjoying it and using all of his strong jaws and his powerful muscles. But at the same time, when it comes to the end of the game and you want to stop the game, you don't want to be in a situation where you can't get things from your dog. So you really want to be introducing some kind of leave it. That's what we've done with Betty. And how we did that was we would start off playing with the toy. So we have bendy arms and we're going backwards and forwards, up and down. And then what we'll do is I'll stop tugging the toy and I'll stand very, very still. And then as soon as Betty lets go of the toy, good girl. I'll tell her she's a good girl and she can have it back. So she can have a tug again. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. And then I stop. Oops. And then I stop. Good girl. And then as soon as she stops, she gets the toy back. So, and what Betty will really quickly learn, and your dog will really quickly learn that's a good girl. What a good girl. So after she's been doing that a few times, then I can start saying leave it or out as she lets go of the toy. Leave it. Good girl. Yay. And then Betty learns that when she lets go of the toy, that isn't the end of the game. That doesn't mean that the game's going to finish and you're going to put the toy away. It actually means leave it. Good girl. That she gets the toy back. And the game obviously has to end eventually. And you can just reward your dog with a biscuit or something, at the end of the game. But by then, the dog will... You can see already, Betty, she's panting, she's using a lot of energy. This is a great game to build up a connection with your dog. And it allows you to play with your dog and allows your dog to use his teeth and his strength without you getting bit, use his really strong jaws and be competitive as well. Tug is a great game for building your dog's confidence. You're not going to make your dog aggressive by playing tug as long as you teach some control within the tug game as well. And another point I must just mention is when you're tugging with the dog, we should really be tugging up and down or towards you and backwards and forwards rather than side to side. It has been known to cause some kind of latent aggression in the dogs. So leave it. Good girl. Yay. So we tend to go backwards and forwards, up and down, rather than the dog doing this kind of shaking motion. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. But I'm getting a good workout here as well. My biceps are pumped. Leave it. Good girl, Betty. What a good girl. What a good girl. And she can have some affection for that because she's a very clever thing, aren't you? Come on the side so people can see how beautiful you are. That's a good girl. That's a good girl, Betty. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Thank you. That's a good girl. That's a very clever girl. So that's how you should play with your dog, with the tuggy game. If you had a dog who wasn't as playful, I would be tempted to use whatever the dog liked picking up. So if it was a sock or a tea towel or a scarf or, providing you're okay with your dog playing with that thing, of course, I would be inclined to use whatever it was to get my dog interested in the game. So just for example, leave it, Betty, what's this? So we've got a scarf here. Sydney, my Cocker Spaniel, likes picking up scarves and socks and anything really that's small and cloths and things like that. So I would start with whatever my dog was interested in, like I just said, or it could be a hard toy as well, something hard that the dog likes picking up. Get on the floor with your dog and just make the toy move around a little bit. Yeah, Betty, what's this? Betty, come on. Oh, yeah, Don't necessarily shove the toy in the dog's face, because that might scare them and it's not going to necessarily get them interested in the toy. But you make a fuss of the toy. So making the toy interesting, making the toy move around the floor. What's this? Oh, yes, good girl. And I'm talking to Betty. Yay, yay, yay. Where's it gone? Yay. And this would be a really easy way to get your dog interested. Yay! And praising them when they hold it in their mouth as well. Don't necessarily take it off them straight away. You know, you want your dog to enjoy it and know that he's doing well. Yeah, whatever you're using, whether it's an actual dog toy, thank you Betty, or whether it's something that you're using in place of a dog toy. Remember, your dog doesn't know that it's a dog toy, yeah? He just knows that it's something he can play with. So you can quite easily use a scarf or whatever, a dog lead even if you wanted to use that. But you know, you want something where your fingers are not necessarily going to be too close to the toy. So tennis balls and stuff like that, they're more for retrieving. And you want something, because the dog is, Betty, sit. That's a good girl. You know, dogs do have sharp teeth. And when they get excited and they get into the game, they can quite easily sort of get a bit too exuberant and grab at the toy and accidentally grab your hand. So that will be, those are my tips for how to initiate a tug game, how to find out what kind of toy your dog likes playing with the tug game, and how to actually play it in a controlled way that allows your dog to get exercise, enables you to physically interact with your dog, but at the same time gives you the power to stop the game whenever you want, so that you can ask your dog to do something and get them back into control again. Did you enjoy that? Yeah? Good girl. Good girl.